Hey friends, we are looking at the Rock Concert set by Kadablok. It's 573 pieces. In this video, we're going to look at the box. We're going to see what we can see about this particular model. We'll look at the parts. We'll figure out what it's all about. We'll look at the instructions. And in a separate video, I will build it and we'll review the full model. And you'll get to see the model in its completed form. And subscribe so that you can see it right away when it's posted. All right, so let's start with the box. We're seeing a rock concert, and it is called the Kadablok Concert. And looking at it, you immediately see many instruments on there, and you see a backdrop. And it has sort of this kind of background that you might find at Coachella or something like that. Oddly, the speakers are at the very top. That I don't think is realistic. And then it does have some lights along the top, and then a projection area and a lot of instruments. And the first thing I noticed was the instruments are all out of scale with each other. So just look at this electric guitar compared to this piano. There's no world where this is as large as a piano. There is a Fender guitar amp. There's a bass guitar. There's a drum set in the back there too, and this stage area is built out with a bunch of tiles. All right, and then on the back, you see some other things that tell you about here. They said there's ambient lighting, there's drum and bass, screen atmosphere, guitar and piano, and they try to give you a little bit of a close-up of some of the other things that you're seeing, but it's not that descriptive, which is kind of to be expected with these particular boxes. All right, so the parts are Lego compatible, and they are numbered as part numbers. So part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And the parts are fairly reasonable colors. They look very similar to Lego's colors and Lego's part designs. So it should look familiar to anybody who's built a Lego set before. There is this one bag. It's called Part Unified Supplement Pack. Really weird. It's like it was packaged by a robot, and the robot got to name everything in here. You get a whole bag of these tiles. I think they're 6x6 gray tiles. And then here's how they handle that big projection screen in the back. It's all these printed pieces. Now, I don't know how well they're going to line up. I'm assuming they are going to line up pretty well because they're printed right to the edge of each of these. So should be pretty good. Okay, and then going into the instructions, tell you a little bit about rock concerts, and it even names a couple of bands in here. I did a quick Google of which bands had red pianos, and Elton John and Journey came up as bands that had those. But here it's actually naming Grateful Dead. And so this is an homage to rock concerts for sure. And jumping in, of course, you start with the bass and build that up. A lot of tile work. And I noticed right away that the parts are super tiny. They're printed really tiny here. So my camera can't even focus on them quite yet either, like without me zooming in or something. They're so tiny. So in the case like this, what I've found is I need an actual magnifying glass. If you're over the age of, say, 45 or 50, you're going to need help and a well-lit room to see these. So if you're, here's a better look at the drum set in there. And if you're new to building Lego, you might want to avoid this one. You might want to get something else like Lego's Jazz Club or something like that if you're a music lover. But if you're new to building bricks, this might be a frustrating one for you. It might be a little bit too technical, and it may even turn you off from brick built sets in the future, just because those parts are just so absolutely tiny. in the instructions. They're going to be a little bit hard to discern and to figure out what you're getting and what you're looking for. One thing I thought was interesting is that the Fender guitar amp, it has a Fender logo, but the way they pulled it off is with a silver barb, one of those little like tooth-like rubber pieces, and they just clip it in just the right place, and it looks like the Fender logo. So that was a good use of the part. I approve of that. Okay, and as far as the rest of the instructions, there are not a lot of surprises there. They're just on the cramped side. And I hope that you got to see everything you were interested in with this particular set. If you like the video, hit like and subscribe, and you'll be one of the first to know after I build this and we take a look at what it's really like once it's built out and all in person. With your subscription, it just helps me find unusual sets like this one and bring them to you, unbox them, build them so that we can see what's out there. Okay, thanks so much.